Also talk about the wedding party. I don't do a consultation with the wedding party. I really only do that with the bride because that makeup needs to be very specific. But I do get details from the bride about the bridal party, how many there are, what the skin tones are, if there are any skin conditions, if there are any skin allergies. I do let them know what makeup products I use in my kit, so that way if they have any allergies to anything, then they can let me know in advance. And you know, I also let her know that I'll set up an appointment for each person. I do that if she gives me the information. I set that up. I back it up based on the time that the bride needs to be ready, because the bride is the last face that I do, and then I make the appointments ahead of that based on the time that the bride needs to be ready. And I usually schedule an hour for the bride. It doesn't usually take me an hour, but I usually schedule an hour just in case. One of the caveats that I do have about a bride is that on the day of the wedding, when I'm doing her makeup, only the bride and I can be in the room. She needs to designate someone to take last minute phone calls, make last minute decisions, that kind of thing, because it's really important that you do the makeup and do the makeup properly in a quiet location, because you only have one time to do that makeup right, and you don't want to have any issues with the makeup. The next thing we also talk about are tattoo cover-ups. If anybody needs to have tattoo cover-ups, you need to know that in advance so you can schedule that. If you've ever done any tattoo cover-ups, it can take a little while to do it, so consider that. Also, I request that everyone's eyebrows be freshly done, you know, within a couple of days of the wedding, because you won't have time to do any eyebrow grooming. That can take an additional 10 minutes, and you don't really have that time to spare when you're doing multiple people in a wedding party. So it's really important that you have that in your contract, that you mention it to your bride, that everyone's eyebrows need to be freshly groomed so that on the day of the wedding things can go smoothly. You also need to you know, make sure that when you get to the end of the consultation and you've done the makeup, that the bride loves it. I make that process, again, very fluid. At different points in the consultation, I do stop. Once I'm almost done with the eyes, I let her see the eyes to see where we're going. And if we need to make any adjustments, we can adjust as we're going along. It's a little bit more difficult to do the whole face and then have to go back and decide what you want to change or what you can change. I make that process very you know, very open, and I make sure that I'm communicating with her during that process, and she's seeing how it's going along. I always want to make sure that I capture the vision of the bride, what she wants, what for her wedding. Also important, of course, to know what colors the wedding colors are, because you want to decide what makeup you want to put on the bridesmaids. To make it easy for me, I usually do the same look for all of the bridesmaids. I don't vary the colors very much. You know, of course, based on an eye shape or a face shape, you have to do something a little different. But I generally use the exact same color on everyone, because you're doing quite a bit of faces. And if I'm working with a makeup artist, we usually meet before the wedding, so we're using the same techniques, we have the correct colors and the products, and we kind of talk about the look and decide what we're going to do, who's going to do the face, which faces, and the start times, and how we're actually going to be coordinating on the day of the wedding. Because you want to make sure that when the wedding party comes, that the makeup looks like it's all been done by one person. Everyone has a certain makeup style, but you want to make sure that everyone's makeup looks about the same. You don't want it to look like, you know, I did the makeup and then another makeup artist did a couple of the faces. Also important to know the location of the wedding, if it's not going to be at the venue where they're getting dressed, because you'll need to build in the time that you do the makeup. You have to build in that travel time to the wedding venue. Also consider if the wedding is inside, if it's outside, how you have the makeup, how how you'll set the face, and you know, the different levels of the different levels of layers that you'll be putting of makeup on the face. You also need to, what I also do is for each wedding participant, I provide a little care package in a mesh bag, and it includes like a little sponge with some almost translucent powder, so they can actually touch their face up during the evening if they haven't hired me to stay for pictures. That's another thing. I do the makeup, I set it really well, and it lasts all day, and I leave. If the bride wants me to stay to touch up for the pictures, that's a cost. I'm a hired person, and that's a part of the contract. If the bride wants me to stay during the wedding and touch up before the pictures, then I do charge by the hour for that. So also consider that as a part of your contract. If it's a family member or a close friend or a wedding that I was invited to anyway, I don't usually charge for it. But if I'm actually hired to do all the makeup, of course, and it's not, it's a professional, it's a client, then of course I do charge to stay through the wedding and then to touch up the makeup. Also be prepared, check your supplies, make sure you have plenty of supplies, make sure you have paper towels and glue and plenty of lashes, eye drops, cortisone cream, just in case someone has an allergic reaction. Make sure you have hand sanitizer, alcohol. I use a 90% alcohol. Make sure you have the covers that you put over the clients as they're getting their makeup done. Make sure you have several of those and that they're clean. Make sure that you have plenty of brushes and brush cleaner. Don't leave anything to chance. I also bring water, and I also bring my own snacks, because you're going to be hustling. That's really a true hustle on a wedding day. You're going to be hustling. You're not going to have time to stop and get something or stop and eat. Bring something that you can just pop in your mouth and keep it moving. Don't bring, sandwiches and things that you have to put together. But bring things like, granola bars, things that you can break up and, pop in your mouth, bottles of water. Make sure you bring some snacks with you, because you never know. It could be a very long day, depending on the number of faces that you're going to do. The last thing that I want to talk about is, of course, the last things that you need to do on the wedding day. Make sure you arrive on time. Be dressed professional. I generally wear black, and I wear my ItsOnlyMakeup shirts. If I'm working with a makeup artist, I'll provide her with one of my company shirts as well. I usually arrive 30 to 45 minutes ahead of when I'm scheduled to start the first phase, because I want to make sure that I find where I'm going. I want to make sure that things are in place, that the tables are set up, and I want to make sure that I'm all set up and ready to go at the scheduled time that I'm supposed to start during the phase. Actually, I make sure that I'm ready before that. So if someone comes early and they want to get started, we can absolutely do that. Also, what's important is, if someone is late for the appointment that you have set up on the wedding day, make sure that you include that in your contract, because if you take someone late, that may make you late for the following appointment. So have that disclaimer in your contract. I know that I do. If someone is late for their appointment more than, say, 10 or 15 minutes, I have the option to not do them, because I'm not going to let everybody else run late. If I have the opportunity to do their face after the bride, of course, I'll try to work that in. But if that person is late, my contract says if they're late, I don't have to do it. I try to be, lenient, and if they're, 5 minutes late, 10 minutes, of course, I can fit them in. But, I can decide to do that or not to do that, depending on the complexities of the faces, because you can make up the time as you go along. But you have to determine that and put that in your contract, so it's very, very clear from the beginning. You don't want any surprises. You don't want the bride to have any surprises. You want to be upfront, you want to be transparent, and you want the day to work well. And at the end of the day, you want to be professional. I mean, that's how you're going to get your next client. It's going to be by word of mouth. Someone may talk to a bridal party member and say, you know what? I work with a makeup artist at such and such's wedding. She was professional. She was punctual. She was on time. Don't take phone calls. Don't talk things that are personal. Keep it very professional. When I'm on a makeup job, I talk about the makeup and I educate my client or whomever is in the chair. I try to educate them about makeup. I don't ask questions that are improper. I don't ask questions where they're personal questions. If we want to make light conversation, that's fine, but I stay very focused on what I'm doing because it's really important that you stay professional. You know, we're like, if you have clients, you know that we're like, you know, sort of like an attorney-client privilege. We are in the room at times that private things are being discussed, so we sort of, you know, I feel like I take a professional oath that whatever goes on with the client stays with the client, because you want your integrity. You don't want anyone to think that, you know, when they're doing your face, when you're doing their face, they can't talk, or, you know, Sally down the street's gonna know what was talked about. So I take that very seriously, and when I have any conversations, or if a client wants to share anything personal with me, I keep that very close to the chest. I don't share that. And I don't, you know, I don't go in and talk to clients about my personal business or any issues that I'm having. That's just inappropriate to me. It's a professional situation, and I think that's all that I really wanted to talk about today, only because I've done a few consultations recently, and some of the comments that I've gotten from some of the brides about some of the consultations that they've gone on, I just thought it's very important. I was just a little concerned with some of the comments that the brides gave me, that, you know, the makeup artists aren't communicating. You know, they're not asking questions that I'm asking, and, you know, they're not happy with the makeup when it's done, and no one asks her questions about how many people are in the wedding party, what are the colors, and da 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 da. Those are important details, you know, about, you know, things about the setup and the times that they're ready. Once I've done a consultation, I also send a thank you to that particular bride just for considering me. It could be a quick little text message, it could be a quick email, but just something to say thank you very much for your time. At the end of the day, you want the day to go well. This is your profession. This is your business. You want to have a professional image. You want to present that professional image at all times. I'm always available to a bride if they have any questions before the wedding. If they have any last minute changes, they need to let me know that. I always call the bride the night before, just to remind her of the day, you know, for the following day, especially if they're going to be getting ready at a hotel. I remind her to call me once they've checked in, so that I can have the appropriate either room number if I'm going to do the makeup in a room, or exactly where in the hotel that will be done. It's a little bit easier to do it the night before, because that day of, she may be getting nails done and hair done and all that kind of stuff. But that's just, you know, those are some things that I was thinking about as we're here in this wedding season, and I thought maybe someone could use it. Very important. As a new makeup artist a couple years ago, I didn't have that information. It was sort of trial and error. These are things that I had to figure out, and I use a lot of that when I do regular makeup. I don't do contracts for anything other than like weddings, because weddings involve a lot of people and a lot of time, and I want to make sure things go very smoothly. If I'm doing a client's face for say a sorority event, or a birthday party, a dinner, anniversary, I don't enter into a contract with them. But for a wedding, it's very important that you have your contract and that you are very fair with what you're doing for the bride. That's it. I just thought it would be helpful for you. If you like this video, you want to see more videos like this, give it a thumbs up. I gotta think of a cute little name for this. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a series, of course, on different things that I come across as a makeup artist, and any advice that I can give you. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up to let me know. List your comments below. If you are a makeup artist, tell me some of the things that you do to make weddings go very well for you. I'm sure the subscribers, you know, here on my channel would like to see those things as well. Any information that we can use to improve what we're doing, I really appreciate you listing that in the comments below. So make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and if you're a current subscriber, thank you so much for your support. And that's all that I have for this video. thank you for watching, and share this video. Of course, I want you to get the word out and share all this wonderful goodness with everybody, especially potential brides, so they'll know what kind of questions to ask of their makeup artist if they're getting a consultation. So thank you in advance for sharing, because I know that you will, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and stay pretty. Deuces.